Insecurity. Gunmen begin recruitment. Dare Soludo's willpower in Anambra. Welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news update, please click on the notification bell. For nearly 1 year, the so-called unknown gunmen have turned Anambra State, the once acclaimed safest state in Nigeria, into a harvest of death. From what has been happening since the emergence of Professor Soludo as the governor of a state, it might be argued that some people do not want the governor to succeed or the state to progress, as hardly a day passes without the gunmen causing havoc in one part of the state or another. When the problem of gunmen began, it was happening sporadically, but with time it became a daily practice, such that it is getting to a situation where the gunmen may soon be telling a number of people that there is nothing anyone can do to stop them. Take the issue of spread of the activities. For instance, at the beginning, they were operating only at the border town of Lilu in Ihiala local government area, only to extend their tentacles to other neighboring towns. Today, towns like Osumogbu, Mbosi Ukpo, Azia, Ihiala, Okija, Nnewu, Agaleze Chukwu, Isofia, Mkpolugbu, Ekulobia, Umuchu, Umunze, Uga, and in fact, almost all the communities in Anambra South Sanitary Zone have become dreaded places. In most of these communities, youth have made the people to live in fear. In Okija, for instance, some youth in collaboration with gunmen from outside the area recently stormed the palace of the traditional ruler of the town and removed over 20 motorcycles purchased for distribution to vigilante operatives after destroying personal property of the royal father who was away at the time. They also invaded the country home of an industrialist in the town after killing his dog, looted the house. The source said, "Do you know that the newly recruited gunmen are assigned to look out for the people who come into the community? They trail such people to their destinations and inform their fellow colleagues who then invade the area to abduct the returnees and take them to the forest for negotiations." Recently, one of such trainee gunmen led his senior colleagues to a burial ceremony at a village in Okija, where they abducted one of the relations of the deceased. After a few hours, they contacted the victim's relations and demanded for 10 million. Eventually, 6 million naira was contributed and a go-between was given the money and the man was released. At Mkpolugbu in Anambra South local government area, it was gathered that some of the gunmen came into the area and demanded that all the pump-action guns purchased for use by vigilante operatives in the area be given to them. The guns were confiscated by the gunmen, as has been done in many other communities. A president general in of the communities said with the development, most communities can no longer defend their areas. In what looked like a well-designed modus operandi, the gunmen, mostly from outside the state, started recruiting youth of various communities into their gang. It was these recruited youths that helped in establishing kidnappers' dens and first in many communities where victims were taken to and ransom demanded and paid. The most worrisome aspect is that the recruited youth have become a threat to the people as they transform from apprentices to actual gunmen. They kill and cannibalize and even use the social media to advertise themselves. 2 killings teeming in the state in recent week were those of a House of Assembly representing Governor Soludo constituency, Okochukwu Okoye, who was beheaded, and a pregnant woman, Harira Jibril, and her 4 children. Although Governor Soludo has been battling to find a solution to the insecurity situation in the state since he assumed office, the latest killing apparently forced him to impose 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in the entire 7 local government areas of Anambra South and Ogbaru in Anambra North. In fact, the governor was so worried about the death of Harira and the children that he dispatched his Commissioner for Information, Mr. Paul Mosu, and that of Women and Social Welfare, Mrs. Ifi Obinabo, to go and commiserate with her husband, Malam Jibril Ahmed. Harira Jibril was 32 years, while the 4 children were Fatima 9, Khadija 7, Hadiza 5, and Zaituna 2. Ahmed's emotion-laden speech during the visit of Soludo delegation was touching. His words, "I'm now left with nobody. They have wiped out my entire family. My late wife was 9 months pregnant, and the family was expecting a new baby within the week before they were killed. They were coming back home after she visited her sister, who was living in the nearby town. She and the 4 children were all wearing hijabs. That may be why the gunmen targeted them." Jibril, who works as a security guard in the state, however, commended the governor for the visit of his aides. The leader of Miyati Allah in the southeast, Malam Gidado Sadiq, who was also in the entourage, promised to work with the state government to bring about peace and security in the state. The visit by the governor's team was quite commendable, and I'm happy that he has promised that those who have a hand in the killing of the woman and her children will be fished out and made to face the law, Sadiq said. Soludo, while announcing the introduction of coffee in the 8 local government areas, recalled how he expressed conviction that sustainable peace and security could only be achieved if there is cooperation and solidarity of people during his inauguration. Wondering while all this was still happening, the governor said, "We consulted and collaborated with the Southeast Joint Body of Bishops and Traditional Rulers, issuing joint statement with the Joint Body of Bishops organizing prayer session in the entire Southeast on 4th April 2022 with the goal of ending the sit-at-home and ensuring an enduring peace and security in the Southeast. We organized Anambra Peace and Security Dialogue with the leadership of the Christian dominations, town unions, traditional rulers, youth organizations, women, market and transport unions, as well as political leaders and non-Indians, on access with a communique calling for an end to sit-at-home and peace and security in the Southeast on 2nd April 2022. We offered the olive branch to all armed youth in the forest to come out, surrender their guns, and with a commitment that our government will help to retrain and empower them to contribute positively to our development. Our government has, in our proposed revised budget, provided handsomely for youth empowerment. The only thing I can say is that they're frustrating this man. They're not allowing him to work because without security, not much can be done. We just hope that sincerely the situation is going to get better and Soludo will be able to deliver the kind of government he really wants to deliver to his people. On this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your next